My name is Lucas. I am a technology engineer from IBM Client Engineering UKI. Today I'll be sharing how to build a bot with IBM Robotic Process Automation Studio. So the bot today we build would be a very simple bot to extract weather information from BBC. So what the bot will do would be it will enter a name, whether it's city or country on BBC weather, and it will help us retrieve the minimum and maximum temperature of the day, and also a description of the temperature details. So the first thing we need to do would be we go on to IBM RPA Studio, create a new WAR file, and save it as, let's say, weather app. So the first thing we need to do would be to open the browser. So the bot will actually open a Chrome browser and do the extraction. So if we type start browser here and give it an instance name, so we can just call it whatever. So we have Google Chrome and leave everything as default and save. So when you add a start browser actions, it will automatically add a close browser action for you as well. So here we probably need to keep the browser open, because when we test it, then you probably see the action by the bot like more clearly. And as I mentioned, we will get the minimum and the maximum temperature and the description of the temperature information from the website. So we'll need a few variables. So the variables that we need would be the name of the city, minimum temperature, maximum temperature, and the description. So if we click on new variable here, so we're going to create a few variables. So the first one would be city, and it will be an input and also an output temperature variable. And then we create a second one, min, which is a output, and we repeat the same for max and also description. Right, so now we have the variable ready, and the next thing that we want to do would be we actually want to go to the BBC website. So we can search for the navigate action from the left hand side, drag it to the middle between start and close browser, and it will actually ask us what URL that we want to go. So if we click on the button here, and we can create a new variable called URL, and here we can type www.bbc.com/weather. So by doing this, we can change a different URL like all the time with our variables without the need of hard coding it onto the action. After that, if we go to BBC website, if we go back to the front page, the thing we need to do would be research for weather information. So we need to click on that search bar, type city, for example London, and we choose the first one, and it will bring us to the page. So we'll need to do the same for the bot. So if we right click on the search bar and do inspect, then on the right hand side we right click again, copy the XPath, and go back to our studio, and if we search for click on a web page, and if we search for XPath and copy and paste the XPath that we just copied from the website. So what this action does would be the bot will then go to bbc.com/weather and look for that search bar. So the second thing that we want to do would be to actually make the bot input the city name here. So again, we do inspect, actually copy the XPath. So once it click on the search bar, the second thing that we want the bot to do would be to put the name of the city on the search bar. So we can use the action on the left hand side, which is called set value to field. And here we can basically select the city variable that we created earlier. And sector type, also XPath, and also this one. So we can enable similar human. So what it does would be it kind of mimic like how human like type in onto the search field. So when we test the bot, we probably like see it more clearly. Right. So the second thing that we want to do would be we actually, after typing the name of the city, this box will actually show, and we actually want the bot to wait for this box to show, and it select the first one. So what we need to do would be we need to get the XPath or if the box as well. So we can kind of drill down here and we try to find the box here. So we expand it again. So we see that here is the location list. So if we copy the XPath and go back here and go to wait for element in the web page, again put it on top of closed browser because that one would be our final action. Select it again, XPath, and paste the location list XPath here. So the next thing that we want the bot to do would be to click on the first one. So if we expand it further, so it will be the first one here, right? So again, we copy the XPath, go back to Studio. The action we want to use this time would be, again, click on web page, XPath, put it here, and similar human. Right, so basically what the bot does for now would be, after typing the city name, click on this, and it will bring up the page of the temperature detail of the city. So as we mentioned earlier, we want to get the minimum temperature, we want to get the maximum temperature, we also want to get the description. So if we right click on the minimum temperature here, and again copy the XPath. So now we actually want to get the element value. So if we search for element, get element value, and set the type, of course, XPath, paste XPath here, and on the output value we want to map this value that we get from the web page to our variable, which is, because this one is the minimum, so we want to map it to minimum, save, and we repeat the same for maximum, copy the XPath, drag another get element value here, XPath, and this time we want to map it to max, save, and we basically repeat the same for description here. but this time map it to description. So basically now the web page will then get minimum, maximum, and description from the web page. So if we want to test our bot, so kind of a easy option would be we can maybe test it with a message box. So if we drag it here and just give the title, let's say test. So what text we want to show? So now we want to show like whether the bot is actually getting and retrieving the minimum, maximum description from the web page here. So let's say we can put like, for example, like city, right? City, min. If we put it here, max, and the description. Right, so if we do that and we run the bot, at the end of the script, it will show a message box and it will show the city, the minimum temperature, maximum temperature, the description. And if it's actually showing the same value that we see on the web page, we know that the bot is actually successfully retrieved all the information we need from the web page. Right, so if we save it, before we run the bot, we want to give like a initial value of the city, because like we need to tell the bot what city we want to get the weather information from. So let's say London here, right? And if we save the script, if we go to the green play button here and select start without debugging, what the bot will do would be open the Chrome browser, enter London on the search bar, select London, and retrieve the information for us. Yeah, so as you can see on the message box, it said London city minimum, maximum temperature in this description. So yeah, it means that our bot is actually running. And yeah, that's it for the lesson for today. Thank you very much, and hopefully you've learned something. Enjoy RPA. Thank you.